Hello, grade 6 students. So now that we have finished the lecture, I'm sure that you have reviewed the lecture video, plus we explained everything in the live Zoom and we solved a little bit of the exercises, and I'm sure that you went over all the exercises again. This is the video for the solution in order to show you how to solve the worksheet. Let's just make a quick revision for the vocabulary words with their meanings. Catastrophic means sudden and disastrous. Application, the act of putting something to use. Computations, calculations that are determined by using mathematics. Deployed, strategically arranged or distributed for a specific purpose. Elevating, raising it to a higher position. Magnetic draws iron, steel, and other metal objects toward it. Obsolete, something that is out of date and no longer used, subsequently occurring or following in time or order. So now let's start with the first exercise, and the exercises related to the vocabulary words. Write a complete sentence to answer each question below. In your answer, use the vocabulary word in bold. So in my answer, I should include the vocabulary word. Number one, why might you use something magnetic? From the word magnetic, as you know, that magnetic means it's the thing that attracts metal. Okay, so simply when you use something magnetic, what's the reason? I might use something, or I would use something magnetic to attract metals. Number two, what kind of homework usually involves computations, or in other words, if you want calculations? What kind of homework? What homework at school you take that include computation? It's obvious and simple. It's the mathematic homework. So mathematic homework usually involves computation. You see, I'm including the vocabulary word in my answer. Three, what is something you would describe as catastrophic, disastrous, and sudden? It happens suddenly. What could be catastrophic other than natural disasters? So a sudden earthquake would be described as catastrophic. If you want to say a tsunami, for sure you can. Four, why might an ambulance be deployed? Why would we deploy ambulances? For what? For what reason? Okay, an ambulance might be deployed in case there is a pandemic, like now we have a pandemic in our country. So ambulances should be ready every single moment. So we deploy the ambulance, we distribute them according to the needs. Five, if you were injured, what might you subsequently do? In steps, in order, after you get injured, what would you do? I might subsequently wash, then bandage the wounds. Six, what is a typical application for a hammer? What is the application for the hammer? For what do we use the hammer? For striking objects, that's right. A typical application for a hammer is to strike another object. Seven, why would you call an old typewriter an obsolete writing tool? Let me ask you first, do we still use typewriters? No, we use computers, we use keyboards, so we use buttons, okay? So it's considered obsolete because it is not used anymore. So a typewriter is an obsolete writing tool since it's not used nowadays. 8. What might be one reason for elevating a sign? Why would you elevate a sign or raise a sign to a higher level? Maybe you want to surrender, that's right, maybe. Or one reason for elevating a sign is asking for help. If you want help, so you have to raise a sign. For example, in class, when you want help from the teacher, what do? You raise your hand. So elevating your hand, so it's like elevating a sign. Okay, so it's very simple and easy. The second exercise B, fill in the blank with the suitable word from the vocabulary bank. Number one, the storm destroyed part of the town. So I have a storm and it destroyed a part of the town. How could I describe the storm? Catastrophic. Two, the sign made it easier to see. How could it be easier to see the sign when? Elevating it, for sure. Elevating the sign made it easier to see. Three, the boy hurt his leg and so could not play the rest of the game subsequently, for sure. Four, you can use something that is to hold photos in place. To hold them in their places, we can use something magnetic. Since we no longer use typewriters, they are often considered, it's the same in exercise A, they are often considered obsolete. The firefighters were to put out the fire. Were what? It's their job is what? To put out fire. So the firefighters were deployed. Now we can move to exercise. See, use each word in a sentence of your own. Here, the answers will vary a lot. Each one of you, or every one of you, sorry, every one of you would use the word in his own way. Okay, so I'm just giving my, I will propose my answers only. Computation, I chose to write it in this way. Computation of the math problem was too difficult to take on without a calculator. Or if you want to make it easily, without a calculator, it would be hard to form the computation of the math problem. Number 2, application. The new techniques are under application. Elevating. The screams caused her heartbeats to elevate. So here we can, yes, remove the ing in order not to use it in a gerund, use it as infinitive verb. It's okay, you can use it. Now, comprehension skill, which is compare, contrast, and I will remind you all again, compare is when you give the similarities, contrast is when you give the differences. Exercise A, read each sentence. Does it compare or contrast? Underline the clue words, write your answer on the line. Okay? First sentence, Ella had her hair done in a style similar to mine, sorry. So, you might directly notice the word similar. This shows what? Compare, similarities, and we underline the clue word. 2, that bike is the same color as our car. So here it's what? Also compare. Why? Because I have same, the word same shows that it is comparing, okay? I was hungry, but I was reluctant to eat since I didn't like what was an offer. So it's what? Contrast. Why? Because if you notice here, we have the word but. I got an A in math and I'm doing well in other classes too. So it's what? It's comparison, compare. We have to and we have and. Okay? 5, I ordered the steak. However, I was served chicken. Chicken. So it's what? For sure, it's contrast because we have however, which shows opposite ideas. I got my homework done despite the fact that I felt my book left my book at school. So here it's what? Also comparison. Why we have despite. The story resembles one I read a year ago. It's a comparison. The word resembles here shows comparison, compare, similarities. 8. Hank is 6 feet tall, although his brother is only 5 feet. So we have the word although, okay, so it is a contrast. I eat meat, whereas my parents are vegetarians. Whereas again shows contrast. And the last one, my taste differs from yours since I don't have a sweet tooth. So, differs, excellent, shows contrast. Okay? Read the paragraph below, then fill in the Venn diagram with the stable similarities and differences. Let's read acoustic and electric guitars. So, here we're going to read about acoustic and electric guitars. As broad as their sounds are, there are several very distinct similarities and differences between electric and acoustic guitars. For instance, both utilize the use of a body and a neck to attach the body. Directly, when you read the word both, you will figure out that here there is a similarity. They both use what? A body and a neck. This is the first similarity. To attach the body to a neck with the frets for finger placement. Here there is a extra explanation. So what you care about to write in the Venn diagram is that they both use body and neck. They both also, here a similarity, they both use strings. So this is the second similarity that vary in gauge or size, which are vital to produce sound when they are picked, hammered on, or strummed as a group. Similarly, also the word similarly shows comparison, similarities. Each is tuned in the same manner, so they are tuned in the same manner to produce the proper tone design. An acoustic guitar needs no amplifier to make its sound loud enough to be heard. Okay, so the acoustic guitar doesn't need any amplifier. An acoustic guitar uses the body of the guitar as its amplifier. This makes it very portable and capable. It's portable and capable of being played virtually anywhere. An acoustic guitar doesn't need any foot pedals. It doesn't need any foot pedals, volume and tone knobs, or any other hardware like that to produce the sound it makes. An electric guitar. So now you can figure out that we are talking about the differences because we mentioned the information about the acoustic guitar first, then we moved now to the electric guitar. An electric guitar is very hard to hear without an amplifier. So the electric guitar needs an amplifier. An electric guitar requires the use of an amplifier to transport the sound through pickups that are secured in the body. This is the first difference. The acoustic guitar doesn't need an amplifier, electric guitar needs an amplifier. These sounds are transferred through a cable connected to the guitar. The cable then goes to the amplifier, which produces the sounds out of the speaker. Since it needs a cable, so it cannot be easily carried, so it's not easily portable like the acoustic guitar. Volume and tone knobs on the electric guitar can make it louder or change the sound of the strings being played. Additionally, foot pedals can be added to produce even more different sounds. So we need foot pedals here in the electric guitar. Now, how could we fill in the this way? Both the similarities, both use body and neck, use strings, and both tuned in same manner. Okay? Differences. The acoustic guitar needs an amplifier. Acoustic guitar needs no amplifier, doesn't need any amplifier. The electric guitar needs an amplifier. Acoustic guitar portable without a cable. Electric guitar not easily portable with a cable. The three, acoustic guitar doesn't need foot pedals. Electric guitar needs foot pedals. So it's very easy, very simple. And notice that here I didn't write complete sentences. I wrote only phrases, okay, words. A worksheet, which is connotation and denotation. Okay, again, I repeat, denotation from the letter D, we mean dictionary. So as the word is literally explained in a dictionary, but connotation, we mean here something related to the feelings. Okay, how is it? What it expresses, and we have positive and negative connotation. Read each pair of words and a phrase. In each pair of words and a phrase, list the one that is positive in the positive connotation, P category, the one that is negative in the negative connotation and category, and the phrase that is more neutral definition for both. We mean as it is written in the dictionary, words in the denotation D column. Gaze, look steadily, stare. So gaze is positive. When you gaze at something, you like it. Look steadily, it's denotation. Stare, when you stare at something, you suspect it, you do not like it. Fragrance, odor, a smell sensed by the olfactory nerves. It's very obvious. You can figure out the denotation directly. So a smell sensed by the olfactory nerve is denotation. Fragrance, when there is a very beautiful smell. Odor, sometimes it's bad. Okay, so a fragrance is positive, odor is negative. Brainwash, which is not good. Persuade, you convince someone with the evidence. Influence on one way or another. So, denotation influence one way or another. Persuade is the positive, and the brainwash is the negative connotation. Delayed, not on time, tardy. Not on time, denotation, clear. Delayed, which is a little bit late, it's positive. Tardy is negative. 5, somewhat interested, nosy, curious. So when someone is nosy, you cannot bear him, okay, or her, because he starts asking about everything that it's not of his or her business. So nosy is negative. Curious is positive. When you're curious, you might discover things that are good. Somewhat interested is denotation. Lazily, without taste, and leisurely. Leisurely positive, lazily negative for sure, without haste denotation. Ask of someone, demand, request. Okay, when you request something, okay, politely, so it's positive. Demand, when as if you're obliging someone to do something for you, it's negative. Ask someone to do something, it's the denotation. Gathering, a large group, mob. A large group denotation, gathering together to have fun, so it's positive. Mob, it's negative. Slim, skinny, less than average build. Less than average build denotation. Skinny, it's negative because it's a bad used when someone is very, very, very thin. Maybe he has a disease sometimes. Slim, okay, it's positive. Last one, discuss with others, debate or argue. When you argue, you do not agree on something. You might reach a point when you would fight. So argue is negative. Debate is positive. You discuss it. You discuss something, and discuss with others is the denotation. So now that the answer key is in your between your hands, you can revise everything again to get ready for the online quiz. Be prepared. Okay, guys. Love you. Bye.